Hi Taurus, here is a general look at your solar chart for April 2016, and first of all here's some astro notes you may be interested in, and this is relevant to your sign, but it's also relevant to all of the signs. Up until the 12th we've got maybe some inner shifting, there's some outer surprises, there's the element of surprise going on there. That's because Uranus and Pluto is going over the Sun, and can be working in lots of different kinds of ways. For you, Uranus is in a very background area of your chart, and Pluto is in a pretty good supportive angle actually to your Sun, Taurus. Mars is close by degree to Neptune all month. Mars is going to be in Sagittarius. This is quite a sensitive area for you, and it's especially the first half, so it might mean there's an uncertainty about how something, which way to go on something, or how something's going to be turning out. A lack of confidence when making decisions, taking actions. But also it can mean that if you put your ego on one side, you can be very, very useful and helpful to others, or maybe not just ego, maybe your own preferences or your own knee-jerk responses maybe to one side, but don't ever let go of that gut instinct. It's yeah. So, or others, you may be leaning more on others as well, and others could be more supportive towards you. That's a way it could go there, but it can be a two-way street, and this aspect means also that this is duty calls, something which you feel is your duty to do. Now, on April the 7th, we're going to get a new moon, but this one is it's conjuncting Uranus, so it's worth a mention. And this is happening in Aries as well, so it's a very dynamic new moon, and this will be unfurling itself over the subsequent month. Again, this is more of in a background area for you, but it does collide really with Uranus and Pluto, and is in a supportive aspect from Saturn. Definitely means changes in the airs, particularly for the cardinal signs. You're not a cardinal sign, but you've got this you've got Saturn in quite a sensitive area, not quite knowing where you stand on something, or how you're feeling about something, or what something or someone is worth to you. So just have to be flexible there and try not to lower those horns and dig in those Taurian heels too much. And it's a time for you to maybe surprise everybody with your very progressive view on things. Maybe you're thinking outside of the box, and you are being creative and innovative. Maybe it's like that, particularly with friends or those associates within a group, that kind of thing. But it can also be with those that are closer to you as well, with family and so on. Now we have also idealistic Jupiter in a stunningly good angle to your sun sign, Taurus, opposing dreamy Neptune, which is also in a good angle. So this is a very, for some of you, romantic time, artistic time. It can be a time of dreams, and of just playing around with the what ifs and wouldn't it be nice if, and working with a law of attraction. That would be good. But it can also bring a certain amount of uncertainty. But because they're in such good angles, that if someone were trying to pull the wool over your eyes, they probably wouldn't be successful with that, or it wouldn't be too much damage anyway. And just be aware this is a time where dodgy schemes or pie in the eye, pie, that's that Italian song, isn't it? something about when the sun hits your eye like a big apple pie. That's amore. Yes. Now, why did that come into my mind? Obviously, you're losing it here. So anyway, pie in the sky schemes. But as I say, these are in a pretty strong, good angle for you. And but remember, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, then it probably is a duck. Now, and then at the same time, Jupiter's in this hard angle to Saturn, which is in an area which is sensitive, emotionally sensitive for you, but also is an area of transition, of actually letting go of whatever you need to let go of, whether it's the past, whether it's a contract, an idea, an attitude, a habit, a behavior, whatever it is. This angle here, even though it's a dynamic working angle and it's got a lot of tension and friction with it, should be helpful because Jupiter is your friend, at least up until September. But Jupiter's gifts are, second to none, really. So overall, this is a time for cautious optimism, cautious expansion, with that thing which is a little bit sensitive in you. It can work out well. It can pan out okay, as long as you just, do the little bits that you can, coming from the gut, coming from the heart, whatever it is. But letting go, there's some letting go, which then allows you, it gives the feeling of, okay, now the path is clearing. And part of that is the letting go and getting onto a different footing, whatever that is referring to in your life. But of course, these aspects are for us all, and these will be, this kind of feeling will be felt across the board, really. This not having enough maybe information or enough revealed to take action, make a decision, and also this kind of uncertain, confusing feeling coming from Jupiter and Neptune. This is again for all of the signs. For your sign, though, you're likely to keep clear on it, but just use that lyricism of Jupiter Neptune, that amazing romance of Jupiter Neptune, that amazing projection from the pineal gland, your third eye into the future. This is how I would like it to be, and just pull that, reel it in. But I have to say that also it can mean that others are trying to, pull the wool over our eyes, or they're trying to get us to be idealistic about something which has no substance at all and just burst like a balloon, further down the line. And there could be, there could be, again, it's a time just to be careful not to take a gamble on things. And then we have this Jupiter and Saturn aspect, which means that within the parameters of what's known, or the parameters of a situation, we can be quite free and expand and grow within that, whatever it is, whether it is a garden, or whether it's a set of ideas, or whether it's what somebody's trying to peddle us and sell us, or whatever it is. Understand what one's limitations are, be practical in the thinking, and then expand within that. Late month, we have transiting Uranus, transiting Pluto, and transiting Venus going over each other. A feeling of being more involved. There's more riding on this relationship that I'm having here, or this connection that I have here. It comes from a deeper place. Something or someone can touch your feelings. You can touch another's feelings and sway another's feelings emotionally. There could be that sort of feeling. There could also be a feeling of maybe a slight sort of control kind of going on, power struggle going on here. Just remain centered, flexible, because it could be a little bit like that emotionally for a bit there, or financially, and or both. But overall, a progressive phase, because you're getting to where you want to go. You just keep going towards that direction, even though maybe you've got to duck and dive a little bit, okay, whilst you're getting that. So now then, other energies going on. Sun's in a background area until the 20th when it comes into your sign. So then this is you again. This is no time to cling to ego, no time to just try and stick with your own way of seeing it or doing it. Well, stick with your own way of seeing it. But also get to know yourself better, get to know, you know, how far you can push it, but also others can push it with you. But this is you maybe not very much in the mood for really putting yourself out there with all kind of, you know, all your what are those things called? Firing on all cylinders. That's right. Mercury and Venus. Well, Mercury and Venus are pretty outwards. Mercury is in a very sort of Mercury is in the same area as the Sun. It's Venus is in a more kind of gregarious kind of mood there. And Venus will get you a long way because Venus is your ruling planet. So you can make friends. You can do well in groups with groups of people. Maybe moving into kind of like a closed unit of some kind or another. And within there's a world, you know, within the castle walls. So you can do quite well from there. But your mind, up until the 6th, this is working from deeper levels. And you are pretty intuitive during this time. You actually pick up the vibe really a lot more easily. And also your imagination can be working amazingly well. Of course, don't let it worry you. Because you are imagining all sorts of things, because that can happen as well. But you just need to zone out and perhaps rest more during this time. Then from the 6th, Mercury moves. But I would say it's a more rest. Yeah, keep some of the time for resting and nurture and therapeutic kind of practices up until the 20th. Mercury then comes into your sign, then you get busier, then you're kind of sitting up and taking notice more mentally, and there could be more paperwork, things to get your head around. Venus is in this very warm, friendly sort of mood and area until the 6th, and then Venus moves out of there and goes into an area again similar to the Sun, where you keep feelings to yourself, you keep, you know, how you are maybe judging others to yourself, or maybe you are just not sure about where you stand with another, so you need to take a step back, touch base, and it's likely you can benefit materially through others in a shared type environment, in a sort of like a closed-in environment. Or you can make friends within that kind of environment, or maybe you're leaning on others a bit more, they're leaning on you a little bit more. So really what I was saying at the beginning, that's from the 6th for Venus. So that will be more in the vein of relationships and sharing and teaming up with another. And then from the 6th as well, we've got a lot of 6th going on this month. No, that's not right. That's not from the 6th at all. That's Mars is in a sector of your solar chart, which is clearing the decks for new beginnings. So this is you getting things cleared from around your feet to do with the past, whether that is an ongoing kind of physical situation, or contract or agreement, or behavior, or location or relationship, whatever it is. This is you getting clear of it very gradually, because this is where Saturn is. And whether it's a rethink, a detox, a spring clean, all of which could be very beneficial. Well, do one at a time, because when you're doing a detox, you possibly in the early days wouldn't want to be doing a spring clean at the same time. But that's the kind of idea of it, because you're dropping ballast in order to get lighten up. And then comes the shift and the transitioning into the sunlit uplands of whatever it is. And that could be around property and property, possessions that you share with another, property you share with another, morals, moral obligations that you share with another, whatever it is. It can be to do with your romantic connection with another as well, and that can be really kind of up the energy level of that. It's a passionate energy, having Mars in this area here. But also it's quite secretive, so you tend not to want to put your cards on the table with some people, especially considering where Venus is going to be from the 6th onwards. Until the 6th, a little bit more open, but not a lot, not with Mars here. And then the Sun moves into your sign on the 20th, and it's a good time for you to be more self-indulgent, to feel that power coursing through you of the solar energy, and give time to your aims and ambitions and anything that's close to your heart. Now, Saturn, as I've mentioned, is in your 8th house. This is the house of transition. Very gradually and slowly between now and end of 2017, you are slowly making your way out of a previous perspective or a previous set of conditions, whether those are shared with another, or possibly they are, or dependent upon another, another's endorsement, or another's sort of interaction, whatever it is. But it will be gradual, and you will have to live within the parameters of that as you slowly wriggle free of something which is maybe less than what you wanted, and then actually get yourself onto the level of, okay, this is fine now, I feel okay with this. You Taurians born the 4th to the 7th of May, or with 14 to 17 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And then Jupiter, the planet of potential abundance and expansion, is positively influencing your sun sign, as I said earlier, encouraging a more spontaneous, self-indulgent energy, and maybe some of this confusion is around children, is around young people, because that is where Jupiter is for your sign, but also because it's in such a good angle, you're likely to it's likely to be it's likely to be balanced. It's likely that you will learn a lot from it, and as long as you do take those lessons and understand what the lesson is, it's likely that everything will come you'll be successful. Yeah, there's so many different angles to this. So anyway, you Taurians born from the 1st to the 6th of May, or with 12 to 16 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most, and that's it for April. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, you can listen to those. You can check this material out under DianaGarland.com, and I'll see you the next time.